Building a silver collection is a game. And right now, most of you are losing. Not because you're bad at it, because nobody gave you the rules. Nobody showed you the map. And nobody told you that the game has levels that have to be played in order. You've been dropped into the middle of a map with no compass, buying whatever shines brightest, and wondering why the result feels like a mess instead of a collection. Today, I'm giving you the walkthrough. 5 levels. Each one has a boss you have to beat, a power-up you earn for beating it, and a checkpoint that tells you you're ready for the next stage. Play the levels in order, and 90 days from now, you'll open your box and see something that makes you proud. Skip levels, and you'll open the same box and see a pile of expensive mistakes wearing the costume of a collection. This video is the manual the game never came with, and by the end of it, you'll have a complete system for building a silver collection that's fast, organized, liquid, and regret-proof. Ken AG. Let's play. Disclaimer. This is education, not investment advice. I will never tell you to buy or sell. Please always do your own research and consult qualified professionals before making any investment decisions. Before we start the game, I need to explain why the order matters, because this is the part that every beginner skips and every experienced collector wishes they hadn't. Silver collecting has a hidden punishment for playing out of order. In a video game, if you fight the final boss at level 1, you die and restart. No harm done. In silver collecting, if you buy level 5 products at level 1, you don't restart. You carry the damage forward. Every premium you overpaid, every condition you destroyed through bad storage, every niche piece you can't resell, that damage sits in your collection permanently, draining value every day you own it, and revealing itself in full only when you try to sell. The game doesn't kill you for playing out of order. It lets you keep playing while quietly taking your money. And that's worse. Because by the time you realize the damage, you've built an entire collection on a broken foundation. Fixing it means selling pieces at a loss, reorganizing from scratch, and essentially paying tuition for a lesson that this video gives you for free. So, 5 levels, in order, no shortcuts. Level 1, the setup. Every game starts in a room where you get your equipment. You don't fight anything yet. You prepare. And in silver collecting, the preparation is your system. Not your first purchase, your system. Level 1 has 3 tasks. First, decide your format. Pick 1 or 2 product types for your core stack, not 5. Not whatever looks interesting this week, 1 or 2. This single decision eliminates 90% of future decision fatigue. Every time you see a deal, every time a dealer sends an email, every time a new release drops, you already know whether it fits your format or not. Yes or no, instant. No deliberation, no impulse. The format is your filter. Second, set up storage before you buy a single ounce, sealed container with a rubber gasket, silica gel packets inside for moisture control, tubes for your core product, a small supply of individual capsules for any premium pieces you'll add later. PVC-free materials only. This costs less than $40 and takes 30 minutes, but it means that from your very first ounce, condition is protected. You never have to go back and retroactively fix storage damage because there was never a gap between buying and protecting. Third, start your inventory. A spreadsheet or a notebook. Columns for type, weight, quantity, date purchased, cost per ounce, total cost, and storage category. This takes 10 minutes to create, and it means that from ounce 1, your collection is documented. You always know exactly what you own, what you paid, and where it is. The boss of level 1 is impatience. The voice in your head that says, just buy something already, you can organize later. That voice is the most expensive advisor you'll ever listen to. Because organizing later means rebuilding a system around existing chaos. Organizing first means building a system that runs on autopilot from day 1. The power-up you earn for beating level 1 is clarity. When your format is chosen, your storage is ready, and your inventory exists, every future decision becomes faster. You've built the operating system. Now you just run programs on it. Checkpoint. You're ready for level 2 when you have your format chosen, your storage assembled, and your inventory template created. 0 ounces purchased, 100% prepared. Level 2, the base. This is where the metal starts arriving. And the discipline of level 2 is buying boring. Your liquid base is the foundation of everything. It's the metal you can sell to any dealer in any market on any day at a tight spread without explanation or negotiation. High recognition product, maximum turnover. The liquid base is not exciting, it's not beautiful, it's not the reason you got into silver, and that's exactly why it has to come first, because the base does something that no collection piece and no rare coin can do. It gives you financial permission to enjoy everything else. When 70% of your stack converts to cash within 48 hours at a fair price, you stop needing every piece to be liquid. You stop worrying about whether that limited edition will find a buyer. You stop making fear-based decisions. The base handles the survival function. Everything above the base is freedom. The first 50-ounce rule lives at level 2. 70 to 80% of your first 50 ounces goes to the liquid base. 20 to 30% to collection pieces. 0 to 10% speculative. This ratio isn't arbitrary. It's calibrated to give you enough base to establish genuine liquidity, while leaving room for the personal pieces that make collecting worth doing. Why 50 ounces as the milestone? Because 50 ounces is enough to establish a pattern. It's enough to have transacted multiple times. It's enough to understand premiums, spreads, and dealer dynamics from direct experience rather than from reading about them. And it's enough to have a meaningful position that you can evaluate honestly. At 50 ounces, you can answer the question, what would happen if I needed to sell half of this tomorrow? And if the answer is, I could do it cleanly and quickly, your base is working. The boss of level 2 is shiny object syndrome. The limited edition release that drops while you're building your base. The beautiful coin a friend shows you. The online deal that expires in 24 hours. Every one of these is a temptation to break the ratio and buy collection pieces before your base is solid. And every time you give in, you weaken the foundation. 1 or 2 exceptions won't destroy you, but a pattern of exceptions means you arrive at 50 ounces with 30% base and 70% random, which is a collection built on sand. The power-up you earn for completing level 2 is calm, and calm is the most underrated asset in the silver game. When your base exists and your liquidity is real, you make every subsequent purchase from a position of strength instead of anxiety. You buy collection pieces because they matter to you, not because you're afraid of missing out. You evaluate speculative pieces with genuine objectivity because your financial survival doesn't depend on them performing. Calm changes the quality of every decision that follows, and it only comes from having a solid base underneath you. Checkpoint. You're ready for level 3 when you have 50 ounces with at least 70% in liquid base product, all stored properly, all documented in your inventory, and you can honestly say that selling half your position within 48 hours would be straightforward. Level 3, the collection. Now the game gets personal. Level 3 is where your taste, your interests, your aesthetic sense, and your relationship with silver enter the stack. Country series, historical commemoratives, wildlife designs, artistic releases, ancient themes, space themes, military themes, whatever speaks to you. This is where the metal stops being just an asset and starts being a collection. But collection pieces follow 2 rules that base pieces don't need, because collection pieces carry premium above melt and premium is fragile. Rule 1. Condition is non-negotiable. Every collection piece goes into a capsule or appropriate protective housing the moment it arrives. It gets handled by the edges only. It gets stored in your sealed environment alongside your base, but physically separated so nothing touches, shifts, or rubs. If you're paying a condition premium at purchase, you are buying an asset that requires maintenance. A house that isn't maintained loses value. A car that isn't serviced loses value. A coin that isn't protected loses its condition premium, slowly, invisibly, and irreversibly. The capsule costs $1. The premium it preserves over 3 years of ownership costs 10 to 20 times that. Rule 2. Know the exit before you enter. You're not buying collection pieces for liquidity. That's what your base is for. But you should still understand, consciously and before you buy, what the realistic exit looks like. Can this be sold on a collector marketplace? Is there a community that seeks this series? Would a dealer pay above melt for it? If yes, wonderful. You have both personal enjoyment and resale optionality. If no, that's also fine. You're buying it for yourself, and your collection budget accounts for it. The mistake isn't buying a piece with a difficult exit. The mistake is buying a piece you believe has an easy exit when it doesn't, and discovering the truth 3 years later at the dealer counter. The boss of level 3 is identity attachment. The moment when you start to believe that your collection pieces are worth what you paid because of the story, the beauty, the rarity, or the emotional connection. The market doesn't pay for stories. The market pays for metal, trust, and turnover speed. Your collection has personal value that's real and valid. But personal value and market value are different numbers. Confusing them is how collectors lose hundreds of dollars at the counter and feel betrayed by a system that was honest with them all along. The power-up you earn for completing level 3 is separation, the ability to hold two truths simultaneously. This piece is personally meaningful to me, and its market exit value is different from what I paid. When you can hold both of those truths without distress, you're a mature collector. You enjoy your pieces fully because you're not depending on them for financial performance. That's what your base is for. Checkpoint. You're ready for level 4 when your collection pieces are capsulated, documented, condition controlled, and you can clearly articulate the exit path for each one. Even if the exit path is I keep this because I love it and my base handles liquidity. Level 4. The speculative shelf. Now we enter the high-risk zone. Limited editions with mintages under 5,000. Ultra-niche mints, experimental designs, proof sets from emerging series that might become sought after or might become forgotten, the coins that could triple in value in 5 years or sit in your cabinet at melt value forever. Nobody knows which outcome will occur. That uncertainty is the definition of speculation. The speculative shelf is where the thrill lives. And I'm not telling you to skip it. I'm telling you to build it last, build it small, and build it with eyes wide open. The rule for speculative is simple. 10% of your total position, maximum, and only after levels 1 through 3 are complete. Because speculative pieces have the widest spreads, the most uncertain demand, and the highest probability of premium evaporation at exit, if speculative is 10% of your stack and a piece goes to melt, you barely notice. If speculative is 50% of your stack and multiple pieces go to melt, you've lost a meaningful amount of real money on products that were never designed to be liquid. There's also a psychological trap at this level. Speculative pieces tell the best stories. They photograph the best. They get the most attention when you show your collection, and that social reinforcement makes you want to buy more of them. The dopamine of showing off a rare piece is powerful, but dopamine is not a financial strategy. The question is, never does this piece impress people? The question is, does this piece serve a function in my stack that justifies its allocation? The boss of level 4 is over-allocation. The slow drift from 10% speculative to 20 to 30 to 50, driven by excitement and social feedback rather than by financial logic. The way to beat this boss is mechanical, not motivational. Set a hard cap before you buy your first speculative piece. Write it down. And every time you're tempted to exceed it, look at your inventory and check the actual percentage. Numbers are harder to argue with than feelings. The power-up you earned for completing level 4 is proportion. The knowledge that every layer of your collection has a defined allocation, a defined purpose, and a defined exit profile. Your base provides liquidity. Your collection provides personal value. Your speculative shelf provides optionality and excitement. Each layer does its job because each layer is sized correctly. Checkpoint. You're ready for level 5 when your speculative pieces are documented, capsulated, and represent no more than 10% of your total position by value. Level 5. The audit. This is the level most collectors never play, and it's the level that separates a collection from a stack. Level 5 is the ongoing practice of reviewing, adjusting, and maintaining everything you've built. Once per quarter, open your inventory and answer 5 questions. 1. What's my current ratio across the 3 layers? Has speculative crept above 10%? Has my base shrunk as a percentage because I've been adding collection pieces without adding base? The ratio drifts naturally over time. Quarterly correction keeps it in bounds. 2. What's the current bid on my base product? Not the listing price, the actual dealer buyback. If the spread has widened significantly since your last purchase, it might mean market conditions have changed and your base product may need updating. If the spread is tight, your base is performing its liquidity function correctly. 3. Is my storage intact? Are the silica gel packets still indicating dry? Are the capsules seated properly? Are the tubes capped? Has anything shifted, rattled, or been exposed to temperature swings? Storage check takes 5 minutes. Replacing a capsule takes 30 seconds. Replacing the condition premium you lost because you didn't check takes years and dollars. 4. Is my inventory current? Every purchase logged, every sale logged, photos updated, cost basis accurate. If you needed to file an insurance claim today, does your documentation support the claim? If you needed to transfer this collection to a family member, could they understand what they're receiving and what it's worth? 5. Am I enjoying this? If the collection feels like a burden, something is wrong. Either it's too large, too disorganized, too heavily speculative, or the system has broken down somewhere. A well-built collection should feel like calm ownership. If it feels like anxiety, the structure needs attention. The boss of level 5 is neglect, the belief that once the collection is built, it maintains itself. It doesn't. Condition degrades, ratios drift, documentation falls behind, markets change, and a collection that was perfectly structured 6 months ago can develop problems that compound quietly if nobody's watching. The power-up you earn for playing level 5 consistently is confidence, the deep, settled confidence that comes from knowing exactly what you own, what it's worth, what condition it's in, and what your options are. That confidence transforms the experience of collecting from something anxious and reactive into something deliberate and satisfying. There is no checkpoint for level 5, because level 5 never ends. It's the ongoing practice that keeps everything you built in levels 1 through 4 functioning correctly. It's 10 minutes per quarter, and it's the difference between a collection that appreciates over a lifetime and a collection that quietly deteriorates while you're not paying attention. Now, the speed hack, because the title of this video is The Fastest Way. And I've just given you 5 levels that sound like they take months. Here's the truth. The fastest path through this game is not buying fast. It's deciding fast. And the system I just gave you makes decisions instant. When you know your format, you don't deliberate over product selection. When you know your ratio, you don't agonize over allocation. When you have a 60-second filter, you don't spend 20 minutes researching a coin that fails question 1. The system eliminates the time-consuming part of collecting, which is not shopping. It's deciding. Every minute you save on decisions, you gain for building. And a collector who decides in 60 seconds and buys with intention outpaces a collector who browses for hours and buys on impulse. Every single time. Let me close with the 2 boxes, because we started there and we should end there. 90 days from now, you open a box. What's inside depends on whether you played the levels in order. Box 1, played in order. The liquid base sits in labeled tubes inside a sealed container. Documented. Cost basis known. Current bid known. Sellable within 48 hours anywhere in the country. The collection pieces sit in individual capsules, organized by theme, photographed, inventoried. Each one chosen with intention. Each one protected from day one. The speculative shelf is small, contained, documented, and sized so that even a total loss wouldn't affect your financial position. You open this box and feel calm. You feel ownership. You feel the weight of something real that you built with a system instead of with impulse. Box 2. Played out of order. Coins from 6 different mints, some in flips, some loose, a few in capsules, most not. Toning on 3 of them from a humidity problem you didn't catch. A beautiful limited edition that lost 30% of its premium because the dealer doesn't carry that mint. No inventory. No idea what your average cost basis is. Total value uncertain because you'd have to look up every piece individually to estimate a bid. You open this box and feel something between confusion and regret. Not because the silver is bad, because the system was missing. Same budget, same 90 days, same metal, different sequence, different outcome. The game rewards order. And order is free. Drop a comment. Tell me your level. Are you at level 1, still setting up your system? Level 2, building your base? Level 3, starting your collection? Level 4, exploring speculative, or Level 5, maintaining and auditing. Whatever level you're at, tell me and I'll reply with your one next move, because the fastest way forward is always one move at a time. If this video gave you a system, hit the like button. You just got the walkthrough that took me years to learn and costs most collectors hundreds of dollars to discover the hard way. Subscribe and hit the bell. Practical content, ground-level education, systems that protect your money. That's what this channel builds. Share this with someone who just bought their first ounce and doesn't have a plan yet. Give them the map before they need it, not after. Take care of yourself and each other. Your friend, Ken AG. Play the levels, build the stack, and open the right box in 90 days.